everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Doing another video here because my mom is coming over for a few days and I thought I would do another video now. And another thing is I might not be doing daily updates on my no spend, but maybe just do like a mesh of like 2 or 3 days instead of just doing it every day, because I think that people are getting a little bit bored of those videos maybe. So maybe I'll do it every few days with things that we've done throughout the 3 days. And if you like watching them, then great, thank you. If not, you can just wait for the next video. Anyway, this video I wanted to share some struggles, some things that I've struggled with, and some things maybe you struggle with living, trying to live, or living a frugal life for a long time, or maybe just things that you're struggling with as a new frugal living comer. Anyways, let's get right into the video. So the first thing that I have struggled with, not so much anymore, but definitely I've gotten a lot better on this one, but I still is keeping way too many things for just in case I do. Oh my, at one point I had a lot of just in case items, and I still do like putting things away, because I still have gotten rid of things even recently, not too long ago. I got rid of a ton of baby stuff, but I mean, it's all replaceable really, so that kind of stuff doesn't bother me too much. It's the stuff that I can't really replace, that after I need it back, or I really wish I had, that bothers me when I got rid of it. But anyways, getting way off topic there. But definitely just keeping too many things, mostly recycling items, I would say. Other things is not so much, but like recyclable items that can just go into the recycling bin, I did have, because I tried to find a use for like everything. Yeah, and the second one is feeling guilty when I spend money. Basically on anything, but mostly when I spend money on myself. Oh, but that's another one actually. Sorry, anyways, so yeah, but I do feel guilty when I spend money. Basically on anything, even if I know that it is a good thing. Like going to the dentist. I mean, we all should go to the dentist, right? It's good so that we don't have bad teeth and things don't happen. So, but you know, you get what I mean. Just basically having a guilty feeling sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Especially when I'm really trying to save for something, because I don't really have anything to pay off right now, but when I'm trying to save for something. The next one is deciding whether free or if something is really cheap, if it is even really a deal or not. I know a lot of times we see these really good deals and we're like, oh, we gotta buy that. But in the end, is it really a good deal? Am I really going to use it? Is it just going to take up space in my home? Am I going to regret bringing it home? And even free things. Like, I'm not talking about free things that are like given to me at my home, because then normally I could just go drop it off. But like more things on like online, like garage sale, that kind of thing, Craigslist, and you have to go pick it up. Because I once went and picked up a firewood, but I had to like drive so far for it, and it was like, well, maybe I could have just spent this whatever $5 or so to go get firewood over here at the, what's it called, they have firewood at our co-op here. Instead of driving all that way, because I probably spent the same amount, or even more, in gas, plus all the time that it took me to get all the way there, because it was like quite a bit out of town. So really, I didn't realize it was that far until after I was already on my way and it was too late. But I have learned my lesson a lot on that. Now I'm still learning, but I've learned to be a lot more intentional and a lot more careful when I see the words free and when I see like a really good deal. Is it a really good deal? Whether it's free or cheap, it's, in the eyes of the beholder. Do you actually use that stuff? I don't know. The next one is, again, spending money on myself. Like, I haven't had my hair done in a long time. I don't really pay people to do my hair anymore. But even just doing things for myself, I don't know. I'm constantly taking care of my family, and I'm the one that gets left behind. And then if it's not my family, it's my clients that I'm trying to get their work done for them. And then trying to, spread my time around with everybody that wants to spend time with me and keep up with everything else on a never-ending plate of things to do, right? So definitely, even though I shouldn't feel guilty, I do still feel guilty when I spend some money on myself. Not in the moment, mostly, but afterwards I do sometimes. And I know I really shouldn't, especially how little I do it. The next is fear of letting go. I've lost a lot in my life. I've lost people, things have been stolen from me. I guess in my last video I shared a little bit about my history, and not in detail, but childhood traumatic events. So I have a really hard time letting go of things sometimes, because I don't even know why, but I just do. I get really attached to things that make me feel like I just get really attached to things. So when I have to let them go, it is hard for me. But again, I've learned over time to do this better. Is that even probably not proper English, but I have learned to do it better. The next one is sometimes I get a little bit overwhelmed. I feel like I give myself a way bigger to-do list, and if I don't get it all done by the end of the day, it's like, But when you have a toddler and a teenager and they both need your time, then you have, your husband and your business and just the house to take care of and everything. It does get overwhelming. Even though I've simplified my life a lot, I do have moments where I just really need to okay, I'm not gonna worry about the dishes today and just focus on my kids, or maybe I want to do more YouTube, or maybe I want to just get some work done and not worry. Maybe I just don't want to worry all the time. So that's another thing on my list here, but I guess feeling overwhelmed because I feel like I have to, do things. But anyways, the next one is trying to find a use for everything. This is what I was talking about earlier. I used to keep a ton of recycling. I know this is going to sound like crazy. It was almost borderline hoarding. I would say, because I felt like everything that came into my house, whether it was like garbage or something, I had to find a use for it. But in reality, we just do our best, right? I do a lot of recycling, I reuse a lot, and I mean, I don't bring a lot of things into my home. This is mostly just food packaging and stuff like that, that I was like, you know, getting overwhelmed and getting crazy on myself trying to find a use for. But even then, I don't have a whole lot of it anymore, because I've simplified my shopping, I've simplified my cooking, I've simplified my life a lot so that I don't get into that hoarding tendency. You saw my cupboards though. That's about as bad as I let it get now. Before, I had like a whole basement full of stuff, so not anymore. The next is anxiety over waste. So yeah, when I see waste, like I almost like makes my heart pound. It's like, you know, I guess this all stems from when I was a child. I was told never to waste anything. My grandparents grew up in the war in Europe, and my mom was their child, so they were very strict with her about waste. And then she was very strict on me with like, or not just me, but all of us. We did not waste food in the home. That was like one of the things we just did not do. It was unheard of. We did not waste any food of any kind in our home. Like, bones had to be picked clean. There was no leftover meat. There was no pink left in your watermelon. It was just white rind left. Like, there literally was no waste. Which is, I totally agree with now that I'm older. But when I was younger, obviously you don't want to be like showed everything. But, you know, I totally understand with it now. And it taught me, you know, don't take so much. Don't take what you're not going to eat. You can always take more, but you can't take less. And I guess, you know, there are starving people in the world. Still, to this day, there are starving people in Canada. There are starving people in the United States. There are starving people in other countries, in third world countries. They're literally dying of starvation. And yet we can throw food away into the garbage. That to me makes no sense, but it happens. So yes, I do have anxiety over waste. But again, I try not to let it get to me too much. The next one is fear of doing too little. I guess this is kind of the same with everything. I'm always trying to, you know, I want to make sure that I'm doing my part and not being wasteful. And then I also fear, like, with gifts and stuff like that, I always have to remember, like, gifts are not necessity. I do what I can, and that is it. I don't want to go overboard anymore. I used to give and give and give. Like, I would give everything away. Literally, I gave, and got to the point where like people just started stealing from me. But anyways, it's a whole nother story. But yeah, I always felt like I was doing too little, whether it be my own part in keeping up with not being wasteful or for like other people. And I guess that brings me to my last is fear of being cheap, because, you know, I don't think that I'm cheap. I'm a very giving, loving, caring person. I volunteer when I can. I have sponsor child. I donate money. Like, I give things away. I give whatever I can, whenever I can, all the time. So I don't feel that I am a cheap person. But I still, because, you know, those little voices that you've heard in the past, or I've heard in the past, calling me cheap and stuff like that, it does hurt, and it stays with me forever. So those are my 10 things that I struggle with as a frugal person, but I mean, they are all overcomable, if that's a word. Making it my new language as I go along, and I'm getting better on these things, and I think all of these things are totally, I guess they're legitimate, but they are also things that I can get over and work past, and I have, and I am. So what are things that you struggle with living a frugal lifestyle, or are you totally fine? Do you not struggle with anything? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I hope you have a frugabulous day. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support. I love and I appreciate each and every one of you. And until the next video, bye.